Hey, it's Andrea here.
And I'm Julie.
And we are the EVOLV Podcast, episode 1.
Episode 1. Yay! Where's the music? Where's the... Yay!
Oh, you want the... That's the laughter, not the applause. Wait, that's better.
You said you're a professional.
I'm not. I'm really not. I am a radio announcer. I'm a voiceover artist. I am not a podcaster until today.
That's right. Same.
Julie, you have a much more exciting past than me. Let's talk about you.
I'm not sure. Let's talk about it. I'm sick of talking about me.
No, you're not.
You talk about me.
I'll talk about you. She was Fury in Gladiator. No jokes. In the 90s.
In the 90s. We have to add that bit.
Do you know how many
we have
years
to
ago?
Add that bit.
Do you know how many decades ago that was?
Yes, I do. Andrea, I love you.
It's like someone said, it's only, it wasn't that long ago. It was in the 90s. It's like, actually, that's like 30 years ago.
Stop talking.
Okay, stop talking. But yes, this is the very first episode of EVOLV. We promised we would bring it to you, and finally we are here. We're really excited about this podcast.
We are.
Because we're going to talk about a heap of different things. We're going to talk about, fitness, because Julie is totally a fitness guru.
That's me. You can all call me Guru from now on.
Julie. Namaste. But also, we want to talk about all things life, mental health, happiness, families, relationships, everything.
Yeah.
TV.
All the important stuff.
That to me
Definitely
is important.
TV, fashion, and social media.
Absolutely. So this is going to be a whole lot of fun, but also really educational and helpful. And you know what? If the worst case is you walk away feeling like you've just had a chat with your friends, then we're happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So let's talk about Fury. I wanted to surprise Julie with something. Just bear with me, Jules, while I show everybody.
What are you showing them? No!
That is a collectible card.
What am I
You're doing the best pose in the world.
That is definitely a 90s pose.
She's got the big hair, the red lips.
I could have been a rock and roller, yeah?
Yeah.
Lead singer of.
You look like a Bon Jovi groupie.
Fury and the Furettes. I think that might have been a bit earlier.
And I just love the hand on the butt with the back arched and the lips with the pouch.
Okay, stop. You know what? I actually hate you right now.
Can I have the card back? On the back of it, right, it says Fury. It's what I'm filled with. So if I decide to let it out, stay out of my way.
What am I just want to say right now, we had no control. We had no control over what was written on these things. Do you know what? I've never seen this card ever. I've seen the picture, but I've never seen it. Where the hell did you get this?
eBay. And it's got quotation marks. So you said it. It's a quote from you. And I've also got a Tarzo. They were collectible.
It's not a quote from me. I can't even say it now.
This is 3 out of 12. The Thunder Disc Fury.
Thunder Disc.
Did you want to have a little look at that pose too?
Yeah, well, that's not quite as bad as this one.
It's not as racy. See, now let's talk about Gladiators for a moment.
It is racy.
I was doing my research, due diligence.
Oh, dear.
And they were talking about Gladiators in the 90s and how it really was like a sexual awakening for all these young fellas.
Put this away.
They would have been looking at this.
Okay, I got where you're going. Stop.
I got this out of someone's spank bank. I'm pretty sure the guy who put it on eBay, that was part of his spank bank.
I did say we would not vet ourselves, but I feel like
she wants to tell me to shut up.
I feel like we need to move on.
Okay, we're moving on.
And perhaps so do many others.
So, Jules, how do you feel now that you've been replaced with younger Gladiators?
Replaced. No one could ever replace the original Gladiators. We were fabulous.
The OGs, mate. You really were. And I mean, Australia loved you guys. Yeah. Like, it was a huge show. And it was exciting, and there were people in the crowd cheering for you or booing you either way.
Yeah, absolutely. It was amazing. We We had an incredible ride. It was, I'm so grateful to be involved, to having been involved in something like that. And I think if you asked any of us, it was just an amazing experience. Just being a part of something that was so huge.
Yeah.
It's such a shame that it was, it was taken off air so quickly.
Yeah, but it's back.
It is back.
Not with you, which is its downfall as far
agree.
as I can
should
see.
be there.
But, I mean,
Thanks, Annie.
It's got a few differences, which I noticed.
Yeah.
And one of which was no live crowd.
I think that was probably the biggest mistake. I understand it's probably riding on the budget there, but in my opinion, a huge mistake made, and I'm sure there were reasons behind it. But I think that the Australian crowd made it everything when we were there. It was that real genuine feedback. The emotion was raw but real in it, and that was incredible to be performing to so many, like thousands and thousands of people who just absolutely championed the show.
And they would have just created a buzz and an energy in that space,
like you
right?
wouldn't believe. It was like madness when we ran out to that first crowd. It was sort of had to be like cooler than than thou, but it was insane. It really was. And even when the cameras were stopped, when they were doing prepping for interviews and things like that, the feedback that we would have with the crowd was it was as I say, it really was everything for the show, which is such a shame for this series and for these Glads, because there's some incredible athletes amongst them. And unfortunately, I feel that you're gonna.
Because even though there was no crowd, they had a lot of this sort of stuff.
I know where you would go with that.
And you'd be like, who's making that?
Do you know? Noise? I think that's probably a better version of the crowd that I heard on the show. I know it was not cool.
No, it wasn't cool.
That and the clouds in the sky.
Not cool.
No, really not cool. But I think there were some really cool aspects to the show, which I think Bo
Ryan, I love him on everything. He's on Top Gear Australia. Amazing Race Australia and Gladiators, and he can host anything. He can host himself out of a paper bag.
He could indeed, but let's not see that. I think that he just had a nice, easy manner about him. He had a good rapport.
Bit of humour,
and I think perhaps being involved with athletes before, you sort of just knew where to take some of the the conversations and stuff that happened. Gave it a little bit of direction, something that we didn't really have a lot of during our show, to be honest.
I remember you sort of saying, like, when you first joined Gladiators, it was all just so new. Everyone was just so wide-eyed, had no idea.
And it's funny. I would imagine it would be the same for these guys. That we had virtually no time to practice. We didn't have hardly any access to any of the equipment.
Yep.
It was really it was crazy, manic stuff. We had no idea really what we were doing, and just had to sort of fumble through and find our way.
But you did a great job.
Yeah, we did. And I take it back to, having that live audience. It really gave you confidence. They gave, the Australian people gave you confidence. Everything was very positive and upbeat, and, they just were so embracing. So, it's a real shame that these guys, didn't have that.
Yeah, it would have been harder for them without the crowd, is what you're saying.
I imagine immensely so. I watched some of this with my son, and, I was watching it through and thinking the exact same thing. This would be really tough for them not to have anything to react to like that. Yeah. I didn't sort of love the locker room sort of feedback too. I think that kind of put the Gladiators on the spot to be the crowd themselves, and I thought it was a bit tough.
And the difference between Australia and UK, because the UK had a live audience and they were hugely successful with the reboot.
Yeah, that's right. They rated quite well. So again, there are a number of things that I think that should or could have been done within this, but the main thing was that it should have had a crowd.
And a few more of the OG Gladiators. They had one.
Yes, Mark. Shout out to my mate Mark. I think he did an absolutely awesome job.
He did.
He really made it. He was a good dash of, serious about, because it was serious, the actual competition, the injuries that were involved and so forth, very real. And Mark knows, all about that. So there was quite a serious note to, being a ref there. Yeah. You see it was pretty rough, some of the stuff. Even I raised my eyebrows to, to a few of the things that, were let through. It was, there was a lot of contact going on in this series. But Mark kind of kept that very real, and having that rugby background, I think, really helped. So I think he did an absolutely incredible job as well. Yeah.
I think you could have replaced Liz Ellis. I'm just putting it out there.
Sorry, Liz, but I'm quite agreeing there.
Yeah, absolutely. You would have rocked that red suit and the runners.
I don't know about the wardrobe, but you know how I feel about fashion.
She's very big on fashion. Too many clothes in one house, right? Okay. Now. We'll talk about that another time. It's a shopping addiction or something.
That's a shut your face episode.
Shut your face.
Shut your face.
All right.
I know you wanted the button, I know.
I have to... Wait. Yeah, the pros in the house.
Yeah.
Shut your stupid face.
That wasn't me.
I've got a million of them. I can't wait to play them all.
I know you cannot.
Now, we are going to talk about what we're going to start doing in the next episode, because there is what we call in the biz a story arc for this podcast. Yeah. Sadly, that story is me. Because we're recording this in a gym. You can't hear the thumping music and stuff at the moment, but it's been pretty loud. And I had to walk into this gym, the most foreign place in the whole wide world to me, and it was daunting. Really daunting. And
that's not unusual. So many people feel that way.
Yeah.
They think, I really need to do something about my health, about my fitness, about my weight, whatever it is. And the thought of walking through the door of a gym is just so daunting to, to most people, to be honest. That is, so many of my clients, that's one of the first things that they sort of say, I just don't know what to do. And I think that's the thing that makes people stop coming too. They get to the point where they know they've got to do something. And I know we've had a conversation about that. I would like to talk about your story in a minute. But I think that it's then not knowing what to do. So, they take that first step, not knowing what to do. You see them just, come a few times and then drift away. And not do anything. So that is definitely something that we want to try and help people with, I think, during this, to demystify a little bit about getting into your local gym and staying there, making it work for you.
Yeah, because I think the big part of it is you kind of need to have a buddy, and whether that's someone who's a friend who already goes to the gym or someone that you're paying, which... I think essentially when you start, you got to have that guidance, because I wouldn't have a clue how to operate anything out there. Maybe the treadmill, I could probably work that out, but that's about it. So you need people to teach you that stuff, but also make sure you're safe in the gym. Like you've said to me, you could really hurt yourself if you don't do it right.
Oh, yeah. You see some crazy stuff happen in the gym, and it's about obviously achieving your goals safely.
Yeah.
And with some, some rationale about it as well. So you want to be safe. And you also, if you're going to come here and do the work, you want to maximise your efforts.
Absolutely.
You want to make sure that you are, if you're going to lift heavy things, you may as well make sure that they work. Yeah. So, I think that side of it as well. And that's where finding a creditable, personal trainer who,
is qualified. And
absolutely. Is qualified. And then to that end, you also want to have a really good rapport with your personal trainer, so that you know that they are invested in you, and that that they
are able to take it when you say, "Leave me the F alone." Stop it! You're hurting me.
Yeah, we're not allowed to hit people anymore. No. But it's a shame.
You won't hit me, will you?
Well, you're a friend. It doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
But I think your story, I think that people understanding where your fitness journey started and why we're talking about this now and why we're going to focus on it is important. You know, what's your background here?
Yeah, look, I don't want to give it all away right away, but let's just put it like this. I'm perimenopausal now.
Yeah. I'm
turning 48 in May. I had a dad who died at 49.
Yeah.
He died of coronary thrombosis, so heart disease.
Yeah.
I haven't lived the most angelic of lives. I've certainly put my body through its paces. And
the 90s, babe.
Everything was doable, right? Yeah. And I was a very social person, so... and I think now it's a case of if I don't pull up my socks, get my shit in gear, hey, I won't be here that much longer. Like, honestly, I don't feel like I'm in my late 40s, but I am. And if it can happen to my dad, it can happen to me.
Yeah, and it's scary. And I think it's really important that people assess that and know that those possibilities, I'm not trying to scare everyone, but they can happen. But the thing is that you can do something about it.
Yeah.
It really is, taking that first step.
Yep. Like I've had my kids, God only gives you what you can handle. That's why I have one. So I've had my children.
I must have missed that cue.
Yeah. Well, he must have thought you could handle more than that, Jules. God only knows why.
So true.
No, kids are challenging and they make your life very busy. And, busy lives, I reckon I'm not the only person out there who goes through drive-through because there's just no time and you've got to eat.
Chaotic life, really busy. And that can be really good, but it can also have side effects, that you start on something, you don't think that you're going to follow that train along, and you find yourself, in drive-through several times a week. So, and, it's happened to us all. Yeah, I've been there too.
I spend a lot of time on the road. And so, you've got to just sometimes get something on the road. And, and I do a job that really I'm sitting on my butt. I'm not... Yeah. I press buttons and talk into a microphone. That's not really going to burn much cardio calories, whatever I've got to burn.
No, and you know what? I think it's a matter of you're here now. You're taking stock. That's never too late is I guess what I'm trying to say. And it's important that, anyone who is feeling like that, because it's not just about your physical appearance.
Yeah.
It's definitely, as, you've suggested, about your, your health, your physical health, and your mental well-being as well, because it's very much connected.
Absolutely. And I know, there are periods where I've gone out there and started walking a lot and doing all those sorts of things, and I've always been happier and healthier for it. It's just I just fall back into old bad habits.
I think it's just not just bad habits, it's time. Time is not our friend these days. We have these amazing pieces of equipment that we carry around with us, phones and various things that, make us so accessible that time is an issue. But if you have a will to do this, you can honestly find half an hour to look at social media during a day.
Which I do multiple times.
Probably more, I'm being kind. Yeah. You can find half an hour or more to look after your physical health as well.
But I also feel really lucky because I have you.
You do, whether you like it or not.
I know, but I really do. And this is where I think if somebody, is going to go start doing something like this, finding someone who you just really get along with and have a laugh with, and because I'll look forward to seeing you, even though you're going to punish me. I'll look forward to seeing you because, we're mates and you make me laugh.
We're recording this, so you understand that is now recorded and other people will bear witness that you actually enjoy spending time with me.
I do.
Despite what I ask you to do. But, one of the things you just said in there, that it actually, it has to be engaging and fun.
Yeah.
And, physical fitness absolutely can be. It's definitely hard work. You're not going to get results without hard work, but it doesn't have to be, dry and boring,
Look, I have a really addictive personality, so I'm hoping that I can become addicted to the gym and you and all these things that are better for me than other things that I get addicted to.
Again, you put me in that category and I love her for that.
So we want to hear from people too. Like if you are starting your journey, you've got questions that you want to ask Jules about how you might go about finding someone.
If you identify with some of the things that Annie has just talked about, and I think many of you do. I know that I have clients that very much are in that boat. So, we want to hear from you.
Yeah, absolutely. And You can find us on Instagram at EVOLV The Podcast, and there's no E in evolve. She was being really clever.
There's one at the start.
Yeah, at the start, but not at the end, like the word evolve is normally spelt.
It seemed like a good idea at the time.
No, she was being fancy. So EVOLV The Podcast on Instagram.
Fancy Spice. Maybe that should be my Gladiator name.
Fancy Spice. No, that you meant you wanted to be the sixth Spice Girl.
I do, if I could sing. Anyway, let's not go there.
Don't
stop.
even.
No,
don't.
Not the first episode.
That's cruel.
I
Yeah. But also,
love you guys.
You can find the podcast link through there, although somehow you've found us if you're probably listening to
us
this.
now.
But don't forget to go there and follow us. So
Yes,
episode
definitely.
2 you can listen to and enjoy.
Yes, well, we hope you do.
We've probably talked way longer than we planned to, but we think it's really important to start off right. You get to know us, and we can't wait to get to know you as well.
And we look forward to bringing you some of these, stories about health and fitness with a good dash of crazy along the way.
Yeah, anything that sort of crops up in life that we have an opinion on, because we've got lots of opinions. Sometimes they're not popular.
I don't.
You do so.
No
She
opinions
so does.
About anything.
Yeah, right. But we're not afraid to say it, so we look forward to sharing. Your fury. Are you ready? I'm ready. I so love that. All right. Thank you so much. And yes, go and make sure you follow the podcast.
Bye, guys. Just hit my hand.